All right, AJ, 5 minutes on the clock. Tell me, I've got a question for you. What's the 10-minute game?
But we only have 5 minutes, so how am I going to talk about the 10-minute game? I'm kidding, I can explain it. So the 10-minute game is, as far as I'm aware, originated at LeadIQ by Ryan O'Hara, who actually is no longer at LeadIQ. He headed up their marketing function for quite some time. But the point of the 10-minute game is to help SDRs get more efficient when it comes to researching prospects and accounts. So the idea being that you set a timer for 10 minutes, you pull up an account, target account of yours that you want to get in touch with. And in those 10 minutes, start to finish, you have to find an appropriate individual person within that account, do some basic account level research, some basic contact level research, craft a personalized email to that individual, and send it out, all within 10 minutes. And the punishment, as far as I remember, is if you don't finish that in 10 minutes, you have to take that person that you found, who could be the perfect person for your product, and put them into a standard sequence that you have kind of running in the background for like lower tiered accounts as punishment. I think it's a great idea because there's actual stakes associated with getting good at doing the right amount of account level and contact level research and building something relevant that you can send to someone in a reasonable amount of time, 10 minutes. Knowing that you can do, for example, 6 of those in an hour, that's 6 highly personalized messages that you can get out there, hopefully none of which you have to put into sort of the trash sequence that you have. And doing it over and over and over again so that eventually you start doing it in 9 minutes and then 8 minutes and eventually it turns into the 5-minute game and you're getting out 12 personalized, highly customized messages out in that hour.
I have 2 things. First of all, there's no way anyone has a bucket they just call trash and continue to send.
I hope not. Don't call it a trash sequence. I had like a tier 2 sequence.
Yeah. Tier 1.
I knew was like...
These are just garbage. Just absolute dirt of the gutter. But
generic is the word, but yeah.
But I'm curious about the punishment side of it, because on the one hand, I do like that there's actual stakes, right? That'll really get you motivated to finish this task, right? Send out the personalized message. But in my head, I'm also 2 things, right? Like somebody who learns through failure, right? Which is a really common thing in the SDR role. I don't know if I'm their manager or their AE, I don't know if I'd want them, that being the risk that they're taking, right? If I say, okay, go find the guy at Apple that we need to talk to. I heard they have some sort of use case for us. I don't want that SDR then going, all right, great, I'll do it, and then not get it done in 10 minutes and then all of a sudden put them in the cadence. But at the same time, then what's the consequence? So have you run into that sort of situation before? Is there any remedy there?
I haven't. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't ever heard of anyone being like, that's stupid. Don't waste a good contact on a game like this. I think when you look at it from a micro level, yes, you're right. You don't want somebody who could be a potentially perfect prospect to get tossed into a cadence that doesn't necessarily have the best response or engagement rate. But on a macro level, this is all about development. This is all about helping SDRs learn and build skills that for the long run will be more beneficial to the organization overall. So it's a bit of a cost-benefit analysis, essentially, where it's like, can I take the hit on a few prospects early on, teach a hard lesson to this individual with the notion that in the future, this will be a much bigger part of how they develop pipeline revenue.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And I guess if you're the manager of the A, you could give them you could practice with less targeted accounts, right? You could technically practice with a tier 2 and then bump them to tier 3 if you have that many layers, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're really actually worried about this, this isn't like a black hole of a game where you toss somebody in and then whatever happens, they get tossed out on one of 2 spectrums. You can control everything. These are just the basic rules. They can be tweaked in some capacity. So if you want to start with lower tiered accounts and give your reps some reps around how to effectively research and build out relevance, by all means, go for it. just know that maybe if the punishment isn't as harsh, they won't take it as seriously. So again, you got to weigh that. But I'm also a proponent of like the phrase "don't practice on prospects, practice on peers." So if you really don't want to burn through some high quality accounts, you can have them run this exercise for some lower tier prospects, or even just as a mock exercise and see what happens.
Use us.
Yeah, hey,
We have LinkedIn.
100%. Actually, use us. That's a fantastic idea, Alex. If you can 10-minute game myself and Alex and write some really highly targeted, relevant, personalized messaging, I will give you feedback. I will 100% tear your message apart and give you feedback and give you what you need to take it to the next level. And if it's already there, I'll probably just take a meeting with you.
Yeah. And we know the content's out there. If you're watching this, hopefully you've watched another one. There's plenty of B-roll. We say some dumb stuff sometimes.
Oh my god.
So reach out, quote us, really make fun of us if you need to. Well, make fun of AJ, actually. I'm perfect, but just make fun.
I have so many regrets.
But no, it is a really interesting game, and I do like the concept around it. I like being able to put like real stakes into it, and like you mentioned, like you can adjust those if you need to, or if like the VP is like, no, we need Apple, you can't do that, then like skip that one. But there's still plenty of opportunities. Again, at the end of the day, there's a lot of just volume based numbers involved, so I think you can spare a couple accounts there if you have to.
For sure.
All right, AJ, 15 seconds. Tell everybody about opt-in.
Opt-in, quick 5-ish minute videos, actionable sales development tips, minimal fluff. You can find us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on our Instagram, and on the website, demanddrive.com.
I don't know how much longer we can have this conversation before people realize that I don't know anything about fishing.
So water, huh?
It's boats.
You don't even need either of those things, to be fair.
What?
You don't need a boat.
You don't need water?
No, you can do it. I mean, I guess you don't need to be like open water. You can go to a farm.
Okay, but that's water. You still don't need water to fish.
Fishing.
Now who doesn't know anything about water? AJ's over there just in an empty swimming pool. Oh, weird. Didn't catch anything.
Hey, you never know. Maybe someone will drop a fish off their like truck and it falls into the pool.
Into the empty pool.
Yeah.
The abandoned pool.
Why am I hanging out in an abandoned pool?
Because I was watching Always Sunny. I don't know.
Oh.
I said it was an empty pool.
You said abandoned.
I said empty.
Yeah. And then you upgraded it to abandoned.
Well, it's kind of implied.
People have empty pools in their house all the time. What if you're skateboarding in it?
Who?
People.